Although the decisions faced by professionals associated with the criminal justice system, ranging from legislators who write the laws to correctional professionals who supervise prisoners, may be different, they also have similarities, especially in that these professionals all experience varying degrees of discretion, authority, and power. Discretion is the authority to make a decision between two or more choices. If decisions were totally bounded by legal rules or policy regulations, then, perhaps, there would be less reason for ethical analysis. However, the greater role discretion plays in a profession, the more important is a strong grounding in ethics. Legislators have the power to define certain acts as illegal and therefore punishable. They also have the power to set the amount of the punishment. Public safety is usually the reason given for criminalizing certain forms of behavior. In other cases, legislators employ moral definitions for deciding which behaviors should be illegal. Protection of public morality is the rationale for some laws, including those involving drugs, gambling, and prostitution. Police officers who enforce the laws created by legislators also have a great deal of discretionary power. Most of us, in fact, have benefited from this discretion when we receive a warning instead of a traffic ticket. Police officers have the power to deprive people of their liberty through arrest, and the power to decide which individuals to investigate and perhaps target for undercover operations. They also have the power to decide that lethal force is warranted. In the United States, we enjoy constitutional protections against unlimited police power, and police act as guardians of the law, not merely enforcers for those in power. Prosecutors probably face the least public scrutiny of all criminal justice professionals, which is ironic because they possess a great deal of discretion in deciding whom and how to prosecute. They decide which charges to pursue and which to drop, which cases to take to a grand jury, how to prosecute a case, and whether to pursue the death penalty in homicide cases. Although prosecutors have an ethical duty to pursue justice rather than conviction, some critics argue that at times their discretion-making seems to be influenced by politics or factors other than the goal of justice. Defense attorneys have ethical duties similar to prosecutors in some ways. However, they also have unique duties to their client. After deciding whether or not to take a case, they decide whether to encourage a client to agree to a plea deal, what evidence to utilize, and how to try the case, and whether to encourage a client to appeal. Judges possess incredible power, typically employed through decisions to deny or accept plea bargains, decisions regarding rules of evidence, and decisions about sentencing. Finally, correctional officers have immense powers over the lives of some citizens. Probation officers make recommendations in pre-sentence reports and violation reports that affect whether an individual goes to prison. Prison officials decide to award or take away good time, and they may punish an inmate with segregation. Both types of decisions affect an individual's liberty. Correction officers make daily decisions that affect the life and health of prisoners they supervise. Parole officers decide when to file a violation report and make decisions that affect the parolee as well as family members. In short, the correctional professionals have a great deal of discretion over the lives of those they control. Although the professionals discussed face different dilemmas, they also share the following common elements. They each have discretion, that is, the power to make a decision. Although the specific decisions are different, they all involve power over others and the potential deprivation of life, liberty, or property. They each have the duty of enforcing the law. Although this concept is obvious with police, it's also clear that each of the professionals mentioned have a basic duty to uphold and enforce the laws. They serve the law in their professional lives. You may have heard the phrase, "We are a nation of laws, not men." What this means is that no one is supposed to be above the law, no matter how powerful, and no one is supposed to take the law into their own hands, no matter how clear the guilt. They must accept that their duty is to protect the constitutional safeguards that are the cornerstone of our legal system, specifically due process and equal protection. Due process protects each of us from error in any government deprivation of life, liberty, or property. We recognize the right of the government to control and even punish, but we also have certain protections against arbitrary or unlawful use of power. Due process protects us against such abuses. We also expect the power of our government will be used fairly and in an unbiased manner. Equal protection should ensure that what happens to us is not determined by the color of our skin, our gender, our nationality, or the religion we practice. Laws are for everyone, and the protection of the law extends to all of us. Although the fair amount of evidence indicates that different treatment does exist, the ideal of equal protection is an essential element of our legal system and should be an operating principle for everyone working in this system. They are public servants. Public servants possess more than a job. They have taken on special duties involving the public trust. Individuals such as legislators, public officials, police officers, judges, and prosecutors are either elected or appointed guardians of the public interest. Arguably, they must be held to higher standards than those they guard and govern. The study of ethics is important for criminal justice professionals. Let's take a look. Professionals are recognized as such in part because profession normally includes a set of ethical requirements as part of its meaning. Professionalism among all actors at all levels of the criminal justice system depends upon their ability to administer policy effectively in a morally and ethically responsible manner. Training in ethics helps develop critical thinking and analytical skills and reasoning abilities needed to understand the pragmatic and theoretical aspects of the criminal justice system. Criminal justice professionals should be able to recognize quickly the ethical consequence of various actions and the moral principles involved. Ethical considerations are central to decisions involving discretion, force, and due process that require people to make enlightened moral judgments. Policy is germane to most management and policy decisions concerning such penal issues as rehabilitation, deterrence, and just deserts. Ethical considerations are essential aspects of the criminal justice research. Even if their actions are not discovered, many people suffer from a moral crisis when they realize how far their actions have strayed from their moral ideals. We can summarize this discussion with 3 basic points. We study ethics because criminal justice is uniquely involved in coercion, which means that there are many varied opportunities to abuse such power. Almost all criminal justice professionals are public servants, and thus we owe special duties to the public they serve. We study ethics to sensitize students to ethical issues and provide tools to help identify and resolve the ethical dilemmas they may face in their professional lives. Ethical issues for professionals in the justice system include relationship with citizens, with their agency, and with each other.